What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Pokemon Masters, a video I'm very excited to make. This is the Returning Player's Guide to Pokemon Masters. So this actually, I'm calling it the Returning Player's Guide because I'm mainly making it for people who already played the game and are coming back for Red. But if you're a new player, this will also be okay for you. If you're stumbling into this video far in the future, I apologize because a lot of this content is going to be centered around the 6-month anniversary, which is what everyone's coming back for. Um, so if it's like a year into the game and you randomly bumble into this video, sorry, it's kind of not timely information. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm really excited to see people come back to Pokemon Masters. I think Pokemon Masters is really great now. It's a really solid, it's a really generous game. I don't know. If you like the video, you want to see some more content to help you guys get ready to be Pokemon Masters, obviously click the like button, click subscribe. If you don't want more videos about how to be Pokemon Masters, watch them anyway, because they're coming. So, oh, you know what? Here's a disclaimer, too, before I get started. I tend to talk really fast, and I tend to ramble. So, if you get confused about anything that I'm saying, please, by all means, hit me up at that Twitter @ you see in my, my layout there on the right, because odds are I'm either going to confuse you or go way too fast past something and not properly explain it. So by all means, please feel free to follow up with me later for some more detail and anything that you might be confused by. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start first off with some gameplay differences that some people who had played before might not be aware of, that doesn't quite work the same like it used to. So the first thing we're going to talk about, before we even get into content actually, is we're going to talk about just the individual Pokemon and how interacting with them has changed. So leveling up is more or less the same as it always has been. You need to obviously have the level up books that you feed into them to raise their levels. Level cap upgrades have changed as a little bit. It now goes up to 120, not 100. And there's also an extra tier of drink. You can see these ones right here. And there's an extra Elite 4 note. You can see me tapping it. Oh, yeah, there you go. Elite 4 note. And what's it called? Buff Blend Plus. Buff Blend Plus. God, say that 100 times fast. Anyway, those are now farmable. They're honestly pretty easy to get because events let you buy just a trillion of them, especially legendary events like Solgaleo and Rayquaza, and the Mewtwo one that's coming back will probably have a lot of these available for farm as well. So don't worry too much about getting them. It used to be really bad in the past getting these, like miserable, trying to break level cap. Not the case anymore. As you can see, obviously I have 2,000 plus of all of these just because when I played through Rayquaza, I made sure to grab as much as I could. Same with the level up books. They're so easy to get from events. I have almost 4,000 of the 3-star one because in legendary events, they're just uncapped. You can just get them as much as you want. Don't worry too much about legendary events. We'll cover the ones that are coming back later on. Moves and skills are learned exactly the same way. You've got the 4 moves. You pay for the moves here. You got the passive. I don't even have these passives because I don't care about them. You know what? We'll get them. Whatever. Screw it. Let's get them. Congratulations, Brendan. You can't be paralyzed and your speed can't be lowered. No reason not to get him. This is not any different, but that's how you do it. We just did unlock level cap. I'm done. Gear is still in the game, and you can still, like, you know, get it the same way. It's through EX battles and co-op. I personally do not actively farm gear. I have some, and that's good enough for me, basically. You can go and get it if you want to. It's not high on my list. I'll talk about how you do it, but I'm not going to focus too much on it. Increased potential is using your tickets, so this will come up with Mew, especially with Mew. You get these tickets either from buying them in the shop, or you like event shops will sell them, or you get them from pulling dupes that your sync grid is already, or your sync like attack is already maxed out on. So let's say you pull a 3-star unit enough times that you're 5 out of 5 with it. Any like numbers that you pull after that will give you a 3-star potential ticket. So now you see my Muse stars up here. There's 3 golden stars and 2 of the orange, like red stars. The red stars are stars that you get when you max their potential. So, like, let me go to someone who doesn't have one. Any 3-star. Who's going to be? Roark. I choose you. So you see, he has 3 gold, and then there's that glowing red star right there, because he's a 3-star. So if we max him out, up to 20... you can see he gets to keep that red star. And now he's a 4-star unit. If you pull a lot, like if you're a whale like me, 3-star ones are extremely plentiful. 4-star ones, not so much. 5-star ones are still pretty rare, obviously. I don't recommend free-to-play players spend these on anybody except really good Pokemon. Someone like a Mew or like the Torchic that is 3-star and becomes 5. You can see mine is up to 5 stars. But he starts out as a 3-star. Same with Mew, starts out as a 3-star. Those are the ones you want to be spending those tickets on if you're free-to-play. If you're a whale, it's a little bit less important, but you still want to make sure you have enough tickets for the ones that you're going to prioritize. And then the sync grid. So this is new, and a lot of returning people are not going to have any idea what this is. So the sync grid is basically the potential system in Dokkan, more or less. So can I zoom out? How do I zoom out? There we go. So these are all various nodes that you can unlock to give your Pokemon some sort of ability, and not everyone has this. I should say that. Some characters do not have what's called an expanded grid. The expanded grid started with Torkoal and Infernape not too long ago, and then ever since then, new Pokemon have been coming out with them, and then more and more older ones are getting them over time. So if you're looking at your character and you're like, why I don't see all this stuff, that just means their grid is not expanded yet. So you see these locked ones all around the top here and all around the bottom. These are unlocked by getting dupes. So, excuse me. You need 2 dupes to be able to get the entire grid unlocked, but you can't get the whole grid. So that's kind of important. You see where it says remaining energy here, 31? That's how much more cost you can put into the grid. So you pay for these with your sync orbs, with your little Steven orbs. I obviously can't afford this one, but all these unlocked ones are already paid for. And then you can see on the skill right here, this one costs 2 energy. So that'll put me down to 29. Or like Haymaker right here costs 10 energy. So that took 10 of my energy pool to open the node. When you run out of energy, you cannot open anymore. So you can't open the whole thing. So you need to decide ahead of time where you're going to go on your grid to what kind of build you want. So like you can only unlock nodes that are next to ones you like have already done. So you can see down here, I can open these. They're not locked, but I can't actually click them because they're not opened up yet. I would need to open up this one to do that. And then blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Generally, the Pokemon Reddit has a lot of good builds. Also, you can just kind of brainstorm your own, how you want to build them. For the most part, nobody has exceptionally needed dupes yet. That's not a statement that they never will, or that it'll be roses forever, but it's just saying that to this point, nobody has really needed dupes. Red will come with one of these, and getting dupes for Red is beneficial, but I still don't think he needs them. That's not to say that getting dupes doesn't matter, because getting dupes in Steven and getting them in Red will greatly benefit them in terms of, like, they can do better stuff. But they're still extremely top tier without the dupes, and so chasing them really, really hard just doesn't really seem worth it. Right? It's like, would you rather have a Metagross that's S tier, or would you rather have a Metagross that's S plus tier, but you didn't get another Pokemon instead? Like, if I have to pick between getting both Steven and Cynthia, for example, or just getting Steven, but Steven's a little bit better, I'm taking both of the new units every time, personally. Maybe you just want your one guy to be really good. Maybe you saved up 200,000 gems or whatever, waiting for Red to come out, and that's all you give a shit about, and you're going to get him maxed out. More power to you. In general, I think it's better not to worry about dupes, unless, you know, God willing, it happens. So to get sync orbs, I'm not going to go through the process of doing it because it's basically random, but every time you start a stage, you have a chance to get what's called a sync orb chance. So when sync orb chance comes up on the screen, if you use a sync orb in that, or a sync attack, sorry, in that battle, you'll get sync orbs. If you're playing single player and you get a sync orb chance, you will get 5 character-specific orbs for whatever character you do it with. So like we did with the Steven back there, you see that I have, however many is it? I have 10 Steven-specific orbs. Now, if you do this in co-op, and also you get these from missions, you get what's called a co-op sync orb. And these go into regular character-specific orbs at a rate of 10 co-op orbs to 1 character orb. So in single player, you'll get 5 character orbs. which is worth 50 co-op orbs. In co-op, you'll only get 25 orbs. So it's faster to farm them in single player. But in co-op, you can do the sync move with anybody to get the orbs. It doesn't have to be the character you want them for. So there's a little bit of advantages doing it both ways. It's a little bit more freeform in co-op, but it's harder to do because obviously co-op battles take longer. You have to rely on your allies not killing it before you get the chance to use your sync move. It's better to farm this in single player. You can do it relatively quickly by doing a low difficulty stage. For example, you can go to like, we'll do something dumb. Level up, stage, baby, yeah. And you can bring something like the person you want orbs for. Like, let's say I'm trying to get orbs for Steven right now. I'll bring the person I want orbs for, an AoE attacker, and whatever, someone that can burn a lot of moves. So let's see if this is a sync orb chance or not. It's not. So we're going to go ahead and just blast everybody with an earthquake. Done. So now that we've done that, the next battle that we do has a higher chance of being a sync orb battle. So is it? It's not. So now when we clear this one, the next one will have an even higher chance. It goes up by a certain percent. I don't know the exact number. But it goes up every battle you do that's not a sync orb chance, makes the next one more likely. And then once you get the sync orb chance, it goes back to 0. But the more times you repeat it, the rarer and rarer they become. So like I've gotten a few today already, so that's why it's taking even longer for me to get another one. But as you can see, this is not exactly a painful process. In fact, this is pretty easy. I'm just going to wait to get one sync orb just to show you guys how to get it. Just to make sure that you know exactly what I'm talking about, because these can be kind of important. Oh my god, okay. I haven't gotten that many today. I've only gotten like 10. You can also put this on auto battle if you're brave and you don't think you'll mess up. I don't put it on auto battle because it doesn't really take that much mental energy for me to click one button. There it is, sync orb chance. So you see it on the screen right there. It's going to pop up here at the top too. So now what you want to do is you don't want to kill everybody. You want to just burn all these items and all these ability uses until your sync orb, your sync attack is ready to go. If I have to say sync too many more times, I'm going to lose it. Alright, so 2, 1, and then you see the little icon above Metagross's sync move. So you let that shit fly. Boom. And then you see the little sync orb came up right there. So that means that we got it, and then you'll see in the end screen that we're getting 5 Steven orbs. So that's the best way to go ahead and farm sync orbs. You don't have to do it on the level up stage. You can do it on any stage. But it's just that level up books are a pretty set value. That's not, you know, even 3-star ones can be valuable when you're farming them this hard. So that's generally why I do that stage. You can do whatever stage you want, though. Okay, so that was sync orbs. Oh man, this is going to be a long one. So now we're going to go and do these strike super course, and I'm going to talk about what's different about super courses. So as you can see, now it says there's only 1 battle remaining. It used to be 3. And then they had these dumb events where, like, instead of double rewards, it was double attempts, so you had to play it twice as many times to get the rewards. None of that anymore. It's 1 try per difficulty, and you get 3 attempts worth of prizes. So when you do strike course very hard, you get 3, like, of the old attempts worth of stuff. So you get a lot of stuff. So they're always worth it to do whenever they're up. They're quick, they're easy, they're good resources. So events are the next thing we're going to talk about, because there's not a great one up right now. It's just Steven, which is fine. I mean, it's a good event shop, but it's going to be tough for you guys to do right off the bat. I mean, I guess if you really put your nose to the grindstone, you could probably get whoever you rerolled for built up and maybe get carried through some of the co-op stuff. They're the same as they usually are. There's some battles, there's some cutscenes, and then there's the co-op. So the co-op is how you're going to get the most vouchers, and then you trade the vouchers in here at the shop. It's not like it used to be, so you can see these tickets we talked about for Mew and stuff like that. But it's not like it used to be, where all the stuff in the shop was basically just character-specific trashy stuff. There's actually good stuff in these shops now, so you can see that I still have some drinks left that I haven't gotten. But I've gotten all of like the 3-star drinks, the 4-star drinks, that kind of thing. Those are there in all these events now, and it's how you get so many. So that you always want to be doing these events, really, to make sure that you're maximizing your value. But before we even worry about, like, talking about all this kind of stuff, I've talked about what it was, but let's get into the finale, which is what should you, as a returning / new, whatever you want to do, player be doing, right? What should you log into the game to do? So, first things first. Let's say you're brand new, or you played a few story chapters and you were like, I don't like this anymore, this game is booty, I'm done. So maybe you're at chapter, I don't know, what is it? Chapter 3. Ah, God, no, go back. You got to chapter 3 and you were like, fuck it, I'm out. Or you're brand new and you're at chapter 1, okay? Whatever. You want to get to right here. Interlude 1, Brock's Grit. So when you beat this, you unlock the ability to play co-op. That's the biggest thing. That's the most important thing. Because a lot of the end game farming is still co-op. The Battle Villa is coming. I don't think the Battle Villa rewards are going to replace co-op. I think they're going to be kind of a side-by-side thing. So you definitely want to make sure that you're got co-op unlocked, you're investing in co-op-based teams, that kind of thing. Maybe I'll make another video in the future that talks about team building and stuff so you guys understand. But this is the most important goal. Second most important goal after getting co-op is this right here, which is Mew. So Mew has 17 more days to finish all of his. He's got 95 missions. It's a lot, but it's not as bad of a grind as you think it is. So 95 seems like a really high number, and it is. But all of these missions can pretty much just be done by playing the game with Mew. Like, see, this one is complete any course on the normal difficulty with Professor Oak and Mew on the team. So really, you just kind of have to check what they are and just go do them. You can get a lot of these done just playing normally, like a lot of the missions are stuff like use a sync move with anybody, or use a super effective attack with Mew. So they're not super difficult to get. But you want to get started on them now just because of the volume of them. Mew is a very, very good Pokemon, and it's very beneficial for new people to come in and have him ready to go, so that when you're trying to get into harder stuff in co-op, you're not sitting there with just one Pokemon, whoever you rerolled for, if you even reroll. I don't think you necessarily have to reroll, by the way, because I think a lot of the free Pokemon in this game are good. But if you do, more power to you. If you don't, that's all the more reason you want to make sure that your Mew is ready to go, because Mew is really good. After you get Mew and you get started on those missions, so you're going to unlock co-op, then you're going to get to work on Mew, and then after that, you're working on Mew really hard. You're going to go to, which chapter is it? You want to get up to chapter 20, because in chapter 20 you get this stage right here that's called a Rising Star, and it unlocks Torchic for your created character. And so created character and Torchic are actually really, really good. So the default trainer and Torchic pair, they're a support sync pair. They have really great buffs. They're really good for pretty much any party with a special attacker in it. Really good stuff. Very valuable support Pokemon. He makes a really good core with Rosa, because that means between Rosa and him, you're able to maximize everybody's special attack, and Rosa can pump up that move gauge whenever you want. It's a really valuable combination. That's my order of priority, right? Get your co-op, get your Mew, get your Torchic. You're pretty much good to go right there. You can literally run Rosa and Snivy, or Superior, with Professor Oak and Mew, and the default trainer and Torchic. And that's a team right there. You're putting in work already. That support core of Rosa and Torchic will also be really good for Red, because his Charizard is going to be mostly special attack, but Charizard's kind of self-sufficient, so you don't necessarily have to support him that way if you don't want to. Team building is a whole nother discussion we'll get into another day. It's not that complicated, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. I just want you guys to know what you should really be doing. Now, when the anniversary drops, which it will drop along with Red in about 6 hours from now, from the time of recording, I don't know when the upload is going to be. It's going to upload before Red comes out, but I don't know the exact time the upload will be finished. But it's 6 hours from recording. Red will go live, and all of the anniversary events and the Battle Villa are going to drop with it. This does not change your order. All right, I want to stress it, can't stress enough. This does not change your priority. Torchic can maybe wait. Torchic is not that big of a deal, but co-op and Mew are big deals, and they need to get done. Co-op is how you're going to do everything, mostly. Battle Villa, like we said, is going to change that to an extent. But you still need it. You still need it for stuff. And then Mew is limited time. You got 17 more days to maximize Mew. And I won't say that Mew is one of the best in the game, but it's really, really good. So, you know, you want to get that done. Wow, I just blanked out really, really bad. Sorry. So you want to get that done as soon as you can. And then you want to get me finished. As far as anniversary events go, you can kind of judge based on it. I mean, obviously on Twitter, I'll be talking about what the big deal for the anniversary is. Stuff like Battle Villa, which is not going to be super appropriate for new people. It's probably going to be too difficult. And you can kind of decide on your own time if you want to get Torchic. As always, there's no stamina. There's 0 stamina in this game. The only thing that's gated is super coarse attempts. So events and co-op and single player, there's 0 stamina. You can play as much as you want. You can play for 10 minutes or 10 hours. Doesn't matter. So more power to you if you knock all my entire wish list or my priority list for you out in like 20 minutes or whatever. Great. Good for you. You knocked it out in one sitting and you can move on. But just make sure that that order of priority is understood and why it's important. Torchic is just a really good Pokemon. You can let him sit, but you really do need to get your co-op and you really do need to get your Mew. That's really it right now for returning players of your priorities, things that are different and things that are obviously better. The grind has been basically eradicated. The grind is now pretty much by doing legendary events like the Mewtwo that's coming back soon on the 6th of March. You can pretty much knock out like 7 different grinds at one time because those event shops are so generous. And then it's pretty much just building your team. And we'll talk about that another day because this video is, oh my god, it's 22 minutes long. So I'm probably going to go ahead and stop it here because I don't want to keep getting into more and more tangents. But I hope that was helpful for you, at least where to begin for right now. Getting through story mode is not super challenging, so that you shouldn't have too much trouble just getting through the Brock stage. Story mode does get hard later on if you're not leveling up your Pokemon. Like, I'm so over-leveled, it doesn't matter. But if you're just kind of leveling your Pokemon consequently with the story mode, it will be a little bit difficult at first. So don't stress if you can't get to the Torchic right away, but make sure you're getting that co-op. Make sure you're building up Mew. And then as you go, you'll get the ability to break Mew's level cap and stuff, kind of quote-unquote for free, because it doesn't require the generic stuff that all the Pokemon use. Mew has its own. And then once you get Mew high enough, Mew can carry you through the rest. So I hope this was helpful. Focus on your Mews. I'm excited that everyone's coming back to Pokemon Masters. I really do want this game to succeed. I think it's a really good game. And good luck tonight for those of you pulling for red, which is probably everybody, because that's why you're coming back to begin with. Thank you guys, and bye. I still can't end videos. Like the video. Click like. Thanks. Bye.